Hey, what's up, it's your boy Rock. I did this really neat thing today, where I bought 46 copies of Metroid Samus Returns. I feel a good reason for doing this coming on to me. Any minute now. Yeah, that'll do. You see, a lot of people seem to really want this game right now, and I'd be more than happy to provide. So let's go pop these suckers on eBay. Now, of course, I want to make some sort of profit here. I bought these for £30 each, so I think the only reasonable thing to do is to sell them for 75. And now all that's left to do is to sit back and wait for the money to start rolling in. And while I do that, it seems that my soul has decided to go for a walk. I fucked up, didn't I? I'm sure we've all been in a situation where we're bored and haven't spent money in a while, so we think, hey, might as well buy a new video game that I probably won't play, and then we check the price and weep. The pricing of the video game market is dictated by supply and demand. The more in demand a product is, the higher the price tends to go. Unless, of course, there's enough supply, and by that logic, the world must have run out of copies of Mario Party 7. Older games just aren't as readily available as the modern stuff. Sure, every console has its connected ventures, but most of the time, you're gonna have to accept that you're gonna be paying almost as much, if not more, than a brand new video game when you're on the hunt for an old one. But with modern games, they don't fluctuate in price nearly as much. They're almost always readily available brand new for retail price in the nearest shop to you. The nearest shop to me only sells nicotine gum. Okay, that's fine. I can easily just buy the game online, so let's grab ourselves a copy of Metroid Dread. Holy shit. I hope somebody's looking for a kidney because I need to sell mine ASAP. Welcome to the modern video game landscape, where Satanism is beginning to take over in the form of this. This is the result of Scalpers, a breed that's running rampant throughout the entirety of the industry. If there's a video game related product that you want, get ready to wince. Now you might be asking, what is a scalper? Seems about right. Scalpers are people who, when pre-orders go live on a brand new video game or video game console, buy as many as they can in order to resell for above market value. A lot of the time they do this by simply coming out on websites and nabbing as many copies as humanly possible without their banks having a fucking aneurysm. But some people take it a whole lot further and use bots to ensure that as soon as a product is in stock, it isn't. Many people would argue that while scalpers are annoying, they don't do all too much harm to the overall industry. But if you take that idea and put it into thesaurus.com, you'll find my opinion in the antonyms section. Oh, Rock, you can still buy the games, you just have to pay a little bit more for them. Suck it up. Well, I'm on my way to buy all of the bananas and sell them for twice the price. Let's see how you like it, fuckface. In my experience, scalpers usually show their faces when new games hit the scene, but they can absolutely show up to the retro game party just to make everybody feel miserable. But obviously they can't just camp out Nintendo's website to nab all of the available copies. They have to actively scour eBay and retro game stores in order to get their hands on multiple copies of these games. Which just feels even more spineless, you know? Like you're putting so much more effort into this. All for the sake of being a prick. Don't you have anything better to do with your time? That's coming from this guy. One of the earliest examples of this issue many will jump to is, of course, the Nintendo Wii and PlayStation 3. These guys both released in the holiday of 2006, and I don't think there's ever been more excitement surrounding video games in the entirety of their history. Sure, the Wii only did a good job of appealing to toddlers and uncles, and the PlayStation 3 did a good job of appealing to nobody, but at the launch, that didn't matter. All people wanted to do was have these systems. So you know scalpers got in the way. Many people bought multiples of each console and popped them on eBay for the low price of who needs to pay for university anyway. Of course, when a product is more in demand, that's when the scalpers tend to strike. I don't think many people were trying to sell Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival for more than its retail price, because nobody was buying it at its retail price to begin with. One of the strangest examples of this was when Nintendo released Devil's Third. The first batch shipped in incredibly small quantities, and it's widely believed that this is because Nintendo had just no faith in the project. And I'm not one to defend anything that Nintendo did in 2015, but, you know, it was Devil's Third. As soon as people got a whiff of the news that Devil's Third was becoming rare, they wasted no time in listing the game for more than the console it released on. Oh man, which one should I buy? Why the hell did they think this would work? Probably because it did! In the modern gaming landscape, we're slowly but surely moving away from physical games. Pretty much every release can be downloaded digitally, so if you really want a game, you have options. But what can't be downloaded digitally is stupid plastic bullshit! Believe me, I've tried, it just wasn't gonna work. Yes, why force fans to pay extortionate prices for plastic when you can force them to pay extortionate prices for plastic? Whether it be consoles, controllers, or pointless. Most forms of plastic that supplement the video game experience are scalped to near extinction. Now, you may be absolutely befuddled by me suggesting that consoles and controllers merely supplement the experience, because, I don't know if you were aware, they're pretty damn essential. But no, I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about these. Completely different, are they not? Special Edition consoles and controllers, a financial advisor's mortal enemy. These guys are the apple of Scalpers' eyes. Potentially the most fitting products to resell for ludicrous prices, because by default, they're already pretty tricky to get your hands on. Special editions and people who scalp them have been around for generations, but I'd argue that they're at their peak right about now. On the controller side of things, the most notable examples in recent years are the Special Edition Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro Controller and the Skyward Sword HD Joy-Cons. The former released in tandem with a pretty niche game and a pretty niche series. The design was pretty damn sexy, but I don't think that was enough for most people to flock to the stores to nab one. Unless, of course, you hate happiness, in which case you bought 14 of them. Nowadays, these controllers can run you well over £100 arenas, which sounds like a whole lot of no thank you. This is far from the only Special Edition Pro Controller. Might I offer you Smash Bros. And Splatoon 2 editions to spice up your collection? But the thing is with these two, Splatoon 2 is one of the most successful new franchises Nintendo has ever seen, and the other is Smash Bros. Xenoblade simply doesn't have the same audience. So while the demand is nowhere near as high as the other two, the supply also wasn't very plentiful, making this sucker a prime candidate for misery. But with Skyward Sword HD's Joy-Cons? Yeah, issue alert. Zelda is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, so the demand was certainly there, but potentially the supply wasn't because of the gonorrhea going around at the time these puppies were put into production. In both cases, if you want to get your hands on these controllers, you have to make peace with the fact that you'd be spending way too much on them or waiting for a good price for a long time. And then if we want to talk about consoles, yeah, we have a lot of options to sift through here. The one I remember being scalped the most was probably the Animal Crossing New Horizons edition. And again, I think this probably has to do with the timing of its release. Doesn't make this any less shit. However, if we want to talk the lowest of the low, the worst of the worst when it comes to consoles, well, you'll need to remove happiness from your vocabulary. What the fuck is wrong with these people? God exists, he's seen this, and he allowed it to happen. Question your faith. The second that the Nintendo Switch OLED model was available for pre-order, Scalpers sniped every single copy within minutes. Now this thing retails for roughly 350 of your nearest local currency, a bit more pricey than the base model, no doubt, but that was to be expected with this being an enhanced model. What isn't to be expected is £500 fucking pounds! And the worst thing about this was these listings were going up before the product was even released. So not only did you have to pay almost twice the price for the system, but you also had to have faith that the seller would actually send it to you on release day. So why the fuck would you buy from them? Oh, don't worry, I'll get it to you on launch, I promise. Fuck off. And then we move on to Amiibo. Oh, joy! In the initial Smash Bros. Series of Amiibo, there were a few figures that were deemed to be the rarest of the bunch, many citing intentionally low stock from Nintendo. Guess what happened? The Animal Crossing Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and Moth Amiibo were the first three to be considered rare, and scalpers were asking house mortgages of prices for them at the height of the line's popularity. I got pretty lucky in nabbing these guys at reasonable prices. I managed to find Wii Fit Trainer and Moth in an actual shop by some miracle of nature, so I was able to pay a retail price for them, which was about £15 at the time. And then with the Villager, I ended up importing from Japan, because A, while it was still ridiculously priced at £40, that was nothing compared to getting my hands on a non-Japanese version, which peaked at around £80, and B, the non-Japanese versions of Villager look weird as hell anyway. Look at these eyes, a face only a mother could love. And then in the later waves, characters like Rosalina, Little Mac, and Shulk, just to name a few, all of these figures were incredibly desirable for fans and collectors everywhere. And those same fans and collectors had to pay double, triple, sometimes even quadruple retail prices just to get their hands on figures that barely even did anything! Yes, Doctor, I am bitching about Amiibo again. Thanks for asking! The Smash series was potentially the least egregious of the bunch. Just because it has potential doesn't mean it can't be bullshit. Other series, from what I can tell, had incidents that were way worse, such as the tangible form of dopamine. Gold and Silver Mario Amiibo. Do I even need to finish this sentence? Incredibly rare and limited by design, considered to be the most highly desired Amiibo ever released. £400, please. And then the Breath of the Wild Amiibo. My mum still won't let me look on eBay for a Guardian Amiibo after 2015's little incident. My collection will mean something one day. This series released when Amiibo were in something of a lull. They were able to reinvigorate interest in the brand, and because of that, maybe I could sell one of these. But what if there was a product that was the culmination of the special edition, desirable Amiibo, and scumbag eBay accounts? Ah, fuck, is it time to talk about Metroid Dread already? Welcome one and all to Hell on Earth, the one isolated situation that should be more than enough for humanity to go to war on scalping scum. Failing Franchise McGee. After Metroid Dread's face-melting reveal at E3 2021, Nintendo announced a fantastic-looking special edition and a 2-pack of amiibo. The special edition included some sick outer packaging, a steelbook, holographic art cards, and a 190-page art book. Oh my god. When this was announced, I wanted nothing more than to support the Metroid franchise, and to buy one of the most interesting special editions Nintendo has ever done. Metroid Dread was my favorite reveal of E3. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, but when I went to pre-order the special edition on Amazon, it was nowhere to be found. Nintendo's official UK website had nothing. Zero stock. Not even any of my local retailers had any copies of the special edition. So I swallowed my pride and checked eBay. Oh, come on! All I found were listings from stinky piss babies who didn't receive enough attention from their parents. Here in the UK, this edition retailed for £80, and most eBay listings were going for, at the very least, £100 more. If you couldn't tell, I have a lot of issues with this. My biggest issue is, this is Metroid's time to be revived. The series has not done well for most of its life, and when fans want to show as much support as they can by buying the special edition, they simply can't. This stings so bad because yes, Nintendo is receiving the money from the Scalpers' initial purchase, and an argument could be made that this still shows that Metroid is profitable. But the fans are suffering because of this. They finally get a fantastic looking new entry in one of their favorite series, and they can't even get their hands on the special edition without paying over double its original asking price. Which means they'll have to either settle with the standard edition, wait far too long for it to come back into stock at a trusted retailer, or pay £180 to some lonely sap on eBay. And the worst thing is, it fucking works. People who don't know any better or really don't want to miss out on something, they buy from these sellers. It is a profitable practice for them, and that's why they still continue to do it to this very day. People are still falling victim to this, and it hurts to see. Yes, I personally am affected by this, but only in the sense that I might not be able to get my hands on the exact version of a game that I want. I outright refuse to feed into this culture. But some people don't, or can't. Some people feel that the only way to get their hands on a product they want is to give in to these vile, awful people. Once again, in the grand scheme of the gaming industry, this may not seem like a huge, disastrous issue, but it does affect people. Fans of certain series are being stung by this tactic, and to put it simply, it blows! Some companies are trying and somewhat succeeding at putting measures in place to stop scalpers. In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure what those measures are, but if we look at the recent Steam Deck pre-orders, it seems like pretty much everybody who wanted a pre-order got a pre-order. But other companies don't have these measures for one reason or another. Just look at the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The effects and repercussions of people scalping those consoles were felt for months after the fact. So many people missed out on those consoles because when there was finally supply, well, I don't even need to tell you who showed up. The Samus and Emmy amiibo are going for £70. Scalpers can eat my toenail trimmings. Am I only angry about this because I can't get my hands on anything Metroid related? Yes, I am, damn it! But it's okay, because I just bought an entire school's worth of textbooks, and I'm gonna pop these suckers on eBay and make £4 more from each of them. See, I just sound fucking loony when I put it like that now, don't I?